Rico stood alone in the dark. He wasn't sure where he was exactly, but he felt sick. He was sweating. More than that, he was pouring sweat. Waterfalls of salty water cascaded down his face beneath his helmet. It felt so heavy on him. It was like an oven. Words floated around his head. He couldn't grab onto any of them to understand what they were. They were swirling so fast that they were unknowable. They slowed as the throbbing headache began to wane. He realized they weren't words at all. They were names. Dodger, Tanker, Steve, Rich, Flashpoint, Boris, Thunderbolt, Clocker, Rookie, Giles. More and more names swirled around his head. Each one brought anguish to his mind, yet simultaneously, they alleviated his headache. Rico. Sarge appeared before him. Sarge? Yup, well, sort of. I'm just a figment of your imagination. What's going on then? You're cleansing. Cleansing? Yes, wiping the toxins from your body. The next few hours will prove you a man. What do you mean? Sarge disappeared. Rico was suddenly alone. But then, chaos appeared. He stood before Rico, not saying a thing. The two of them stared each other down. Rico didn't know how he knew it, but this moment would affect the rest of his life. And he was determined to win. Racket, Flack, Schlieffen, and Lucky stared at the body of Rico. You think he'll survive? Racket asked. I hope so, Lucky the medic responded. You think it'll work? Flack asked. Work? Of course it will work. I made the serum myself. It is flawless, Schlieffen responded. They continued staring at the body for a time, nobody saying a thing. But then, Racket spoke up. Fox is dead. Good riddance, Flack murmured back angrily. And Mental? He's in surgery, but there's hope that he'll recover. Good. Let's visit him later. While Rico's brigade was in shambles, Commander 55 was keeping the campaign together on Coruscant. He had gathered his soldiers. They were torn up, beaten, downtrodden. It was bad. And what's worse is Tarkin had landed on the planet, and he was taking control of the Coruscant garrison. 55 knew he had to inspire his soldiers, or they would fail. Soldiers, Rico is recovering. He's been in Schlieffen's serum. There is hope. Now what we can do for him is take Coruscant. Keep the war going while our commander is down for the count. We'll do the dirty work for him and for the people of Coruscant. Shoot to kill. And we will win this thing. The speech was short, but after it, the soldiers stood taller. The good news from their commander-in-chief made them bolstered. They would now fight harder than ever. Boys! It's Ricos Brigade time, baby, and this is the second to last episode of Season 4. There will be a Season 5, but Season 4, we find ourselves coming to a bit of an ending, a bit of a conclusion here, and I am very, very excited. So, today we have Commander 55 doing a final assault against Tarkin, who has been called in by the Emperor to defend Coruscant. Coruscant was, of course, ravaged by Rico's Brigade a few episodes ago. However, they just hit the slums of Coruscant, and now they have to do the big push into the administrative and military faculties, which are going to be a lot harder to take, that's for sure. But they got Lord Gonk on their side, and Commander 55's troopers have been bolstered by morale of Rico managing to be recovered. So they're all happy, clappy, slappy, and therefore they get a health buff of 2 times health this battle. They do basically have way less troopers than the enemy. They are about half to maybe a third the size of the enemy that they're going up against, and of course they're attacking against them, so it's looking pretty bad right now for Commander 55 and the boys, but this health buff should really help, and the morale boost should really help as well. If you guys have enjoyed this season of Rico's Brigade, remember to hit the like button. I've had a ton of fun making it. Subscribe if you have not already. It means a lot to me, and we're trying to hit 250k by the end of the year. And comment down below what you think will happen in the last episode of Ricos Brigade Season 4, baby. And also, just an FYI, I am going to be doing a large Christmas giveaway over on the Discord server, so look out for an announcement on there in the coming weeks. Most of you guys are already on there, but for those of you who aren't, link will be in the description below if you want to join the Discord server. I'll be giving away, I think, this might change, but 5 different video games of your choosing, I think with a maximum price of $40 or something like that off of Instant Gaming. Something like that, but just keep an eye out for that. Either way, guys, let's get into this battle here. Alrighty then, fellas, we're gonna go ahead and press start right now, and here we go. Commander 55 and his troopers getting into some action against the Stormtrooper Coruscant Guard, being commanded, of course, by Grand Moff Tarkin here. Commander 55 is under the orders of shoot to kill. They are not messing around anymore. Ricos Brigade needs some wins here. They need to eliminate some generals, so if they can kill Tarkin in this battle, they will be doing so. And we'll see if they do end up managing to do that. We have seen quite a number of battles actually on this map before, and that's simply because it's, of course, the Senate building. You know, this is, or sorry, the Chancellor's quarters near the Senate building. It's such a prolific map of Coruscant, and therefore, you know, we see a lot of battles on it because it's such a main hub of activity on the planet. The other Coruscant maps that we've seen a lot are the underground slums and the banking map. There's a map with a Coruscant bank, but that's really it for Coruscant maps. There are not that many in the Star Wars Galaxy at Warmog, which is a bit of a bummer because I think Coruscant is one of the coolest planets to play on. However, it definitely is, you know, cool to have at least a few really, really well-made ones, you know, because while there might not be that many Coruscant maps, the ones that there are really, really sick looking. And along with the sickness, we've got a sick battle, baby! The 501st Airborne here have landed in, and they are under some pretty extreme fire right here. It is tough. They are taking a lot of losses right off the bat here. It's not looking too good for the troopers. They are managing to withstand a lot of the shots. That added health bonus is helping them stay alive, and they are, of course, getting a lot of stormtrooper kills here and there, so that's nice to see as well. However, you know, it has been pretty tough in these early stages of this battle, and some serious losses have been garnered by the 501st Airborne here. They're not going to give up anytime soon, though, and of course, if need be, I will gladly step in to help out. This is Ricos Brigade after all, and I am allowed to command troopers as I see fit for Rico and the gang. We got a trooper here. This looks so dope. This would be a sick wallpaper background, dude. Oh, I'm taking some screenshots, baby. Yeah, give it to me. Oh, he did. Okay, no more screenshots. Oh, there's 55. 55 is the only trooper on retreat mode, and that's because he has a DC-15X rifle. This thing is really good at long range, and so therefore, if he's able to back up as far as possible and take some shots, we're willing to let him do that. Even if he looks cowardly, his troopers know that he is no coward. He will get down and dirty in these battles. I mean, he's had to do some sniping at close range in the past. We all know that Commander 55 is down to clown when it comes to some intense firefights at close range, but if he's going to be more effective farther away, then I am all for him actually doing that and, you know, fighting from a distance. I'm okay with that. Either way, his troopers straight down center. Extreme losses going on. It is not good over here. The troopers to the left seem to be doing actually a lot better, and they're even coming over to reinforce. These guys had far less Coruscant Guard troopers to deal with, and therefore I think they survived a little bit better. So this is almost a beacon of hope for me over here. These troopers being alive as they are and managing to live through that initial bombardment is going to mean that the guys in the center are going to get some reinforcements, and that's happening right now. These troopers are pushing in towards the middle to help these guys out, and I think that's bolstering these guys' confidence, and they're actually coming out of their shell a little bit more and pushing farther forward. The same can sort of be said for the right over here. There are some losses over here to the right. Some troopers have managed to go down in this battle. However, now that they have sort of gotten over that initial bombardment and they took out the Coruscant Guard troopers that were immediately affecting them, they are now able to sort of come on in here and help out a little bit more too. So good things are definitely happening for Ricos Brigade. I thought things were going really, really poorly. But as it turns out, they're not. They're actually going pretty well, and I think this health bonus is, of course, really, really helping. You know, troopers are bound to fight better and live longer if morale is good. It has been proven time and time again in many historical battles that morale counts for so much of performance. You know, if you have a miserable army, they are more likely to rout, they are more likely to get slaughtered, they are less likely to actually fight the enemy. It's brutal, so it is good to see that the 501st here does have that morale boost, and they're using it to their finest. And not to mention, stormtroopers, they probably don't have that much morale. I mean, they're an army based off of fear, I would definitely say. And, you know, if you fear your commanding officers are going to kill you, obviously you're going to fight, but you might not fight as hard as if you were really fighting for a cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think fighting for a cause definitely makes a big difference in the grand scheme of things. The stormtroopers are getting some gnarly grenades out, taking out large swaths of 501st troopers in one foul swoop. That's not a good thing. You know, if the 501st can go ahead and take out these troopers in grenading distance, I think they'll be in a lot better of a situation. And there we go, one of them down, the other behind this blast shield. These things are really hard to take over. There's just such a narrow slit there where they can actually fire through. So the clone troopers are going to have tough time taking out that stormtrooper right there, for sure. Did you guys know that actually, like, I can't remember the exact statistic. I actually learned this in my history of Vietnam. It was called the American War in Vietnam. I took it freshman year. It was a great class. Freshman year of college, I took that. So 3 years ago now, which is crazy because it feels like not that long ago. Man, college went fast. But I'm actually about to graduate in just the end of this week. Next Monday, my last course. Oh, it's going to be hype. But either way, yeah, that class was gnarly, very cool class. I really enjoyed it. But I learned that actually the vast majority of soldiers in most wars, and this statistic was especially prevalent in World War II and Vietnam, but most soldiers do not fire at the enemy. They'll disobey orders directly and actually fire above the enemy's heads because most people don't have it in them to kill people, and that makes sense. I don't know if I don't think I would, you know, unless like very primal instincts took over or something like that, you know. It'd have to be like extraordinarily special circumstances, but like the average person doesn't have it in them to like kill another person. So really, like, it was something like 5% of soldiers actually used to try and aim at the enemy, and others would aim overhead or not discharge their weapons at all. So kind of a crazy statistic right there. And modern militaries basically try and ingrain it into people to kill who join the military, you know. So they've learned about this statistic, and now instead of, you know, training people to not you know, to fire over people's heads, they, of course they weren't training people to do that, but you know, to overcome this problem, the military has had soldiers in training like repeat the word murder or kill over and over and over again while doing strenuous activities and things like that, to, I don't want to say brainwash, but almost brainwash them into having less of a problem with killing and make it more comfortable part of their life, so that way they'll actually you know, fire at the enemy. This is not something I see the stormtroopers or clone troopers really having a problem with. Maybe the stormtroopers, but the clone troopers, I mean, they were literally bred to kill. That was like ingrained in them since they were in the Bacta chambers or whatever, cloning chambers. So I don't think this is a big problem for the clone troopers, but for the stormtroopers, maybe. I just find it's like an interesting little factoid, you know. It's kind of crazy. Either way, the clone troopers, let's go in slow-mo here for the final assault. They had a really hard time at the beginning of the battle, but then in the middle here, as they were launching their assault this way, they did take some serious losses, as you can see, but they kind of cruised towards the end. They really, you know, cruised and bruised as they went, and they managed to sort of blitzkrieg on in there. The fact that they sort of went in with little to no regard for their safety and just sort of blitzkrieg through, I think led to them actually managing to overthrow the enemy there. But now they're in this final chamber assault here, and there is one heck of a choke point, and already we're seeing 501st troopers going down in the choke point. The clones do seem to be able to shoot in and suppress these guys in here, which is going to be problematic for the stormtroopers and Tarkin. But if Tarkin's troopers manage to just spray down anyone who tries to enter in and don't get suppressed, I could see Tarkin's troopers actually still winning this thing. However, a lot of them are getting suppressed, and a few of them are even dying at this point, so it's not great. This is like the brightest room in all of Star Wars. It's so bright. It's like blinding. Look at these guys are glowing fluorescent. It's so bright in there. What the heck? That's insane. Either way, Tarkin's troopers are sadly getting heavily suppressed at this point, and it's resulting in them not closing that choke point off from clone troopers entering. And so the clone troopers are able to enter and fire in instead of them getting hard stopped at the choke point. They need to hard stop at the choke point, or else, you know, the clones are going to win this thing. You know, whoever you're rooting for, the clones are looking like the victors right now, and I think that's because Tarkin's troopers got suppressed. I say this so many times, and there's really no way to fix it in the game. I don't know how to prevent these guys from really being suppressed behind cover, but suppression can win or lose a battle. I know I feel like I'm harping on that factoid so many times, but it's so true, and it is such a prevalent theme that we have seen in our Star Wars battles on this channel so many different times. Suppression will either make or break a defense, and it has broken this defense right here. And now Tarkin is getting blasted in his chair. He doesn't care. He goes down. Tarkin has died. Tarkin is no longer a part of the Empire. He failed in his mission to defend Coruscant, and the Empire probably won't give him a hero's death. Despite all that he has done for the Empire, he will likely go down in history as a failure in the Emperor's eyes. So, Coruscant has finally been retaken by the clone trooper army. In the history of Ricos Brigade, this is the one time they have ever held Coruscant since Order 66. So this is a big move that happened right here, and the 501st Airborne Troopers managed to defeat the 65th Stormtrooper Guards here. Let's check out some of the losses to see how devastating this was. Obviously, in the battle in the slums, there was extreme losses for the 501st Troopers, so let's see if this holds true in this one. Yellow are dead defenders, red are dead clone troopers. And it really does seem like the majority of losses for the clones took place right over here. This is where the vast majority of them died on the initial platforms. And then as they went further in, they did take losses. However, this little hallway sort of thing wasn't really too much of a challenge for them. They did manage to, you know, break on through this with little to no problem and destroy a lot of the defenses there with relative ease. This was not too bad. Then as they come into the final room, this is what really was going to be the make it or break it moment for the clone trooper army. And they took a few losses at the doorway. Things were looking good for the stormtroopers. But the stormtroopers got suppressed, man. Straight up, if these guys had not gotten suppressed, I think they would have killed the clone troopers. Remember the fact that the clone troopers were outnumbered about 3-1. Which is insane, and they only had double health, so they were still basically an underwhelming force. They were not prepared for this. You know, they needed to be 3-1 health, you know, going up against 3-1 soldiers, but they weren't. They were 2-1, and yet they still managed to catch a nice little victory here. Perhaps it was the morale boost. Perhaps the stormtroopers just gave up on the fight because they really did screw the pooch in this throne room area. This really could have been a hard stop. We've seen it countless times in Star Wars Galaxy at War, where the troopers within here managed to blast a doorway with as much firepower as possible, and a unit of maybe 20 soldiers holds off an army of 1,000. We've literally done videos where it was 50 versus 1,000 in a choke point, similar to this, and the 51. However, the stormtroopers got too suppressed. They simply got too suppressed, and they got overrun by the clone troopers of Commander 55's army here. An absolutely insane battle. I really enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys did as well. It's good to see Ricos Brigade after such a difficult season, a season with so much loss. It's good to see them finally pull through and manage to get a couple of victories here. It might not outweigh the total defeats of this season, but hey, it's better than nothing. So guys, I'll see you in next week's episode of Ricos Brigade, perhaps the final one. Maybe there will be a bonus episode. I haven't decided yet, but right now it is planned to be the final episode of Ricos Brigade Season 4, and then Season 5 will begin. Thank you guys so much for watching this season. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you have not already. Be sure to smash that like button and comment down below what you thought of the episode and what you think will happen in tomorrow's episode. All right, guys, without further ado, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.